A campaign to bring humanity back to love is a campaign to change the culture of how we deal with conflict. So, when I talk about the culture of conflict, I'm talking about the norms, the beliefs, the behaviors, the attitudes, the feelings that we have as it comes to conflict. How should we behave? Should we avoid it? Should we escalate it? Should we resolve it? And how should we resolve it or avoid it or escalate it? I think what's happened is that humanity went through a pandemic. We went through many other things, but we went through a pandemic. And the pandemic brought so much conflict to our lives. Not only did a lot of people die, some of us gave them the disease that killed them. Many of us lost jobs. Many of us made a lot of money. Many of us made no money. Many of us didn't see our friends and family for a long time. Many of us got married and had better relationships. Many of us had worse relationships, got divorced. Some of us had kids. Some of us had to stay at home and work while we were interacting with our kids. Some of us, regardless, it introduced so much anxiety or so much uncertainty into society, into human society. And I think what it also taught us was that we could run away from conflict. Hey, if you're in a fight with somebody, just turn your phone off. You don't have to talk to them anymore. Hey, if you're disagreeing with somebody in your life, you don't have to see them. Hey, you don't have to see them at all. And I think it started to change our collective culture around conflict to be more about avoidance. Run away from conflict, pretend it doesn't exist, just get lost in a video game or some other addiction to stop thinking about it. And I worry that when we start avoiding conflict more and more, or when we escalate conflict, which I think is actually another form of avoidance because we're not talking about the real conflict, we talk about the tangential conflicts. I worry that leads to more and more conflict because we don't resolve the conflict. It just grows and grows and festers. And I worry that leads to war. Maybe we're not there yet, but in some parts of the world, we are there. There have been a lot of wars that have started recently. And I'm tired of seeing so many people in my life run away from conflict and not address conflict and not resolve conflict. And I think a lot of it's just because we haven't learned how to do it. We haven't seen examples of conflict being resolved. And I want to change that. I want to change that not only with tools for people to get better at this, but demonstrating the behaviors at how we resolve conflicts. And I think that is the ultimate definition of love. Love is the resolution of conflict. It is the coming back together through conflict. And I want us collectively to get a lot better at that. So I'm asking for your help.